G'day.
G'day. Hello, mate. How are you?
How are you? You good?
I'm very good. How's life down in Australia?
Uh it's been crazy actually the last 2 weeks. We had like the worst flooding we've had in 50 years or something. It's
Uh,
like not where I live. We're pretty lucky where I live because I live on the Gold Coast, but a little bit further down in Lismore, literally the whole town was fully submerged underwater.
uh-oh.
Yeah, it's been crazy. So yeah, but where I live, we've been super lucky about it. But yeah, so hit and miss like the last few weeks just never ends. We got COVID, then we got World War III coming up, and then we got the floods. Like, you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
One thing after you got to keep your head above water, right? Literally.
You do. It just gets a bit crazy, but anyways,
Yeah.
we're here now. We're having a chat.
Yeah,
good.
we're here now. I'm in Canada, but I'm from the UK. You're down under, literally, in many ways.
Whereabouts in the UK are you from?
I'm originally from Chester.
Yeah.
But I lived in Birmingham for a long time before I moved over here. I've been here like 7 years now.
Yeah. You love it? Love it?
Love it. Yeah, it's great in Montreal. I am. So it's a good city. There's a lot going on.
How's the cold though? How do you deal with the cold?
Well, yeah. At the moment, like I'm in the basement, and if I look out the window, half of my window is snow.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
That's so insane. I've never felt proper cold before. Like I live in the Gold Coast, so it's like it never goes below 20 here. I used to live in Tasmania, and that was like would hit 10 degrees in winter above.
Ooh, chilly.
Yeah. And I was like, this is shocking. I hate it.
Yeah,
yeah.
Well, actually, back in my DJ days, I actually did play in Tasmania.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
What in Hobart? Maybe
yeah, in Hobart.
Yes, that's where I grew up. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, don't ask me the name of the club, but I played with a DJ called James Holden, who's also from the UK, and yeah, we had a good time down there.
And what kind of music were you playing?
I was playing like a mix of breaks and kind of progressive house.
Yeah, mad. Wow. And when was this?
This is like 15 years ago.
Yeah. So still in the 2000s, but
oh yeah.
So yeah, wow. So yeah, I would have been like, I was born in 92, so I maybe would have been like hitting my teens.
Yeah, they probably wouldn't have let you in, I guess.
Yeah. Wow, that's cool. You probably played it. You probably would have played around Salamanca, like the you know how they have that like the boat harbor thing. Yeah. That's where they have all the clubs around there. So you maybe played it like.
I'm pretty sure it was. Now that you say that.
Yeah.
But we're not here to talk about me. Why are we talking about me?
Go all day.
You mentioned that it's been a crazy year worldwide for the human race, but it's been a crazy world for you recently too, just because obviously this song Down Under, it's an old Men at Work song that you've kind of done your own version of, and it was started off as a bit of fun, right? You didn't expect any of this.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, so basically because that the C word, the old COVID, like there were no shows or anything on, so I was kind of just figuring out a way where I could basically post content. I'm like, I've got nothing to post because usually you get videos from your shows or something like cool like that to post, and I'm just like, I need something to post, and I've been making these remixes of just songs that don't belong in like drum and bass, like vocals that should not be in a drum and bass song. So I did like a Hilltop Hoods one first, which is they're like an Australian hip hop act. I did one of their like songs from the 2000s. Yeah, Nosebleed section. Like, so I did that one. Then I did the Down Under one. So in my like FL Studio, my program that I'm making it, it was like a 25-second song. Like that's how long the song went. And I posted it up on all the social media platforms, and it just went crazy on there. Like nothing I've ever had before in my life. So from there, it was one of those things where, you can like scroll, you can refresh your notifications, and every time you'd refresh, there'd be like 50 more notifications, like every second. So I'm just like, what is like, I'd never had anything like this before. So I'm like, obviously people are loving it. Let's see if we can actually do something with it. So I put it out as a bootleg first, unofficially on SoundCloud. It started taking off on there. And then my manager, he's a whiz. He's like, I'm going to see if I can actually get in contact with Colin, and his manager. And they managed to get in contact with him. And this all happened within like a 2-week period of putting out that video. So we got in contact with him. He's like, he replied, we sent him the song. We sent him like, it's a drum and bass song. We sent it to him. And he's just like, I don't see why I would put it out, but I don't see why I wouldn't either let the kids have fun. I'm just like, what a legend. Like, so that was his giving the okay to the song. He's like, you're going to need new vocals though, because I don't know, labels and all that stuff. So he had to send over his new original vocal stems. I just mixed those within a day. And then we put the song out. From him saying yes, we put the song out on Spotify, I think 3 or 4 days later, maybe 5 days. Wow. And yeah, now it's, I think the last month, every day it's been getting like 1 million plays a day. And it's just, it's literally changed my life. It's just, it's still insane to me. I'm talking to you now. Like, that's how it's just crazy.
Well, I was going to say, like, how is life now different to life before this song?
Well, I'll be honest, the shows have been, I haven't done any club. I've done 1 club show so far, but I've done, I think, 3 festivals, and they used to always be crazy, but there's just this new energy. And especially when you play that song, like I always say that song for the end, it's just, it's everything is just vamped up so much more now. More people want to see you play. More people obviously listen to your music. More people, they go harder at your sets now. Like now like in, what is it? I think in June we go for like a New Zealand and then like a full European tour. And I'd never even been to Europe before. So that's going to be crazy. So yeah, a lot of things have changed. The funny thing is though, obviously because it is a classic song though, there are a lot of people who grew up with it, and like you do get a little bit of hate on it, which I'm not used to, like getting hate from randoms, because so many randoms who have no idea who like Luude is and that will just hear this song, they'll just rag on it. But it's obviously more positive. But yeah, I'm not used to like getting hate now, so I have to like thicken up my skin a little bit. But besides,
that's one of the things. Like the more people hear the song and the more it spreads worldwide, there's going to be more people that dislike it, and especially
exactly
people that originally love it. So in a lot of ways, the more like backlash you get, it just means the more successful it's being.
It's a great way to look at it. Yeah, because obviously the more backlash it gets, like it's from people who would have never even heard of me or my music ever before. So it is just getting to more ears, isn't it? Yeah. It's a good way to look at it. It's hard it's hard to not look at it. I mean, like look at it that positive way though.
And the other thing is it's a song that they can't avoid. Like they can't just turn off the radio because it's being played in so many places now.
Yeah.
Like if they don't like it just a little bit and they keep hearing it, then it's going to get on their nerves. So
true. That I haven't thought of it like that. Yeah, and like
that's the way you look at it. It means you're doing it right at the end of the day.
That is actually a great way to look at it, because they can't get away from the song. Yeah, that is like every time it digs a little bit deeper. Yeah.
So do you remember like the catalyst moment where you decided you were going to do this song?
Yeah. Well, so basically, I was like, what are some good songs with flutes? Because I made this little kind of drum and bass loop, and like in the song, it's kind of got that really quick, sharp bass, like don't. And I had like a sample of, I found it just a random flute sample. I'm like, that sounds really cool, like melodically with a flute on top. And then you're just kind of playing the bass notes with that kind of crunchy bass. So I'm like, that sounds cool. So then I'm like, all right, what are some good songs that I love with a flute in it? Hilltop Hoods, and so I tried it with that. I'm like, oh yeah, that's sick. And then I'm like, what else? Down Under. So yeah, so that's basically that's kind of where I was like, got the idea, like, and obviously I wanted to make it as a song that people can chant when you actually play it live. Like the drop of the song still has the vocals in it, so everyone sings a drop.
Right.
So yeah, and now like from the shows, like, and you're not supposed to do wind backs that much, but I played a festival on the weekend in Sandstone Point, and I played the last drop of the song 3 times because everyone's just like, one more time. I'm like, all right, we did it 3 times before and then finished the set. So gets a crazy reaction.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah. Well, and is this a song that you remember from your childhood? Is this something that your parents were playing, or?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, like my dad was a guitarist, so he used to like. We just grew up on so much music, and I hated a lot of the music that he would play to me. It was more like fusion jazz stuff, but that was one of the songs where like I always loved it. It's like, it's like the unofficial Australian anthem, the original song is. It's like, how could you not like it? You know, it's such a good song. Like the original is just so catchy and memorable lyrics. You just chant them.
So you mentioned that a lot of the stuff that your parents were listening to, you weren't really into. Do you remember a moment where you kind of found your own music and something that kind of made you want to take music seriously?
Yeah, well, because my dad's like a musician, so he teaches guitar at the Conservatorium of Music, which is basically a music university where you go where you're a freak musician or whatever. So he was always crazy guitarist. So I grew up playing the drums my whole life, and you do reach a day in your teens where music just starts hitting differently, and you're in all you're hitting puberty, you're in all your emotions and stuff. And I was kind of like, I used to love like Parkway Drive. They're like a metal band. I loved Blink-182. I even Eminem, but I was kind of against electronic music really till I probably hit 20, because I grew up on my dad loves it now, like he's all for it, but he was such a music purist. He's like electronic music, so he was one of those, it's not real music. So I used to be one of those too, and I used to play metal bands and that, and I was so against it until I saw an Avicii video on our YouTube, and that's basically which totally flipped the switch and got me fully addicted to like producing music.
Right.
So yeah,
because I know Parkway Drive. That's pretty heavy.
Oh, that's wicked.
That's pretty heavy stuff. They're coming to Montreal soon, actually.
Oh, that'd be wicked. Yeah, I love them.
Yeah, but the amount of people that I talk to that they're making pop music or R&B or stuff like that, but the name Blink-182 comes up every time.
You reckon?
That seems to be like a very formative, like teenage years kind of band.
It was kind of like, they had their really fun songs. They had their kind of piss take joke songs, and then they had their actually really like emotional songs too. So I think they just had like, like it's poppy punk stuff, but I think they just had such a range in like, you've got Adam's song, which is like so like sad and emotional, and then you've got like Damn It, which is like a funny song. So I don't know. I feel like that's why, because I used to like love all their emotional songs. I could get really feels. I'd like walk my dog like with my those little like box MP3 players, and walk my dog real angrily, like Adam's song. Like, so that's like my memory of like first like getting into music is probably Blink-182, like of when I first actually started loving music.
Right. And of that kind of heavier music, do you still listen to any of it now?
I would say I definitely don't listen to as much now. I listen to probably a lot more chilled music. I love Bring Me the Horizon. I still pump Parkway Drive all the time. There's Soilwork, which is like a Swedish metal band. I still listen to them, but that's pretty much all. I went through a stage of only listening to metal music for a few years, but to be honest, like lately I've been listening to Labrinth. Like I've been listening to Labrinth the most.
Okay.
Pretty much like all day, every day. Have you heard of the show Euphoria?
Yeah, I've heard a lot about it, but I haven't actually seen it yet.
Do you remember Skins? That Skins show?
I think
it was like yeah. So it's kind of like yeah. So like it's weird because I grew up like watching Skins, and it, that show was like really hectic, and like they brought out all these themes that as a teenager, like I had quite strict parents when I grew up, so I always felt like such a rebel watching that show. Euphoria is kind of like the new version of that. I would say it's just really hectic show where they go into really crazy themes on it. But Labrinth wrote the whole soundtrack to that show, and it's just like amazing. I personally think. Like, have you heard Labrinth at all?
Do you know what? I'm a photographer and I shoot a lot of shows, and I was shooting a festival in the UK and Labrinth was playing, and I showed him one of the pictures backstage afterwards, and he gave me the biggest hug when he saw it.
What a legend.
And that was it. It was just like, that was kind of a nice moment that kind of just passed within seconds. But yeah, I know him. He's got some top tunes.
I feel like he's just like he's like a musical savant. Like if I could ever go in the studio with anyone just to like learn stuff off, I would go with Labrinth for sure.
Okay. Well, we're putting that out into the universe now. So let's see what happens.
If he ever does a drum and bass song.
Yeah, but who's to say? And who's to say that you are always going to do drum and bass? Maybe you'll start kind of exploring different avenues as well. Now you've got more opportunities.
You're right. Well, yeah, like I've really only been making drum and bass for 2 years now, I think. I've kind of made a bunch of stuff before that with my Luude project, and I still do. I've got another project which is called Chumba, and that's like a house project as well. So I try to keep it making all styles of different music, but drum and bass is the most fun. It's the most fun to make.
Yeah. So sure. Obviously, a lot of people are discovering you from this song.
Yeah.
What's the next song that you've put out that you would want them to check out?
I have well, if you go on my SoundCloud, you can find a bunch of like unofficial remixes that I've done. But the next, I don't know. I think the next one we're putting out is a Regard remix, and but if they want to go through my like old stuff, they can go. There's so many because I used to make like kind of trappy music. There's a song called Right Now on my Spotify. If you might have heard that one, I'm pretty happy with how that one turned out.
Like I was looking at that on Spotify. It's got like 22 million.
That would be my second most popular song. Yeah, that would be like my second most streamed song that I've ever made. And then like I've got a lot of. If you go back into the catalog, don't have that many songs on Spotify, but there's a lot of clubby stuff on there. Like a lot of like trappy kind of clubby stuff, which I was making years ago. Or you can like go on Chumba, and that's my house project, and that's all like house music. So it's like a little bit. Cool. You've got a little bit of everything, yeah.
Yeah, so you're already exploring different avenues. You're not just sticking in your lane, and because this has been such a big hit, you're not just gonna. I'm guessing you're not just gonna repeat yourself again and again, and you're not just gonna do remixes of famous songs again and again.
You can't do it forever. Like I'll do it every now and then. It's just like I'll make something that's good for the club. Like it's just like a remix for the club. But as far as like official songs go, no, you can't do it forever. Like I might make we're trying to clear a sample, do the same thing as we did with Down Under, with an act called Rain Radio. They're from the UK. So we're trying to get a big sample cleared on that. So if that comes out, that'll be cool. But the vibe of that song is different to Down Under. You know what I mean? And, I want to make them some more like emotional kind of piano based, like more, not clubby stuff. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
And are people coming to you now saying, can you remix this? Can you remix this?
Yeah.
Have you had any that you're just like, what the hell would I do with that?
It's like the thing is, because it's drum and bass, because I'm making drum and bass, it's every song that you get sent you're like, I could probably work with this because it's so different to drum and bass. So whatever remix I do is going to sound so different from the original song. So it's kind of like the weird, the more opposite the song is to what I would make, the better. Because I don't want to, like if, you have like someone will put out a house song and then they'll get 5 house remixes of that song. And, they're all quite similar. Like I want to have like a song where it's, it's the exact opposite of drum and bass. So then when it is drum and bass, it's more like polarizing because you're like, I could never have imagined that to sound like this.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. That's kind of like where you've made your mark already is playing with the genre and doing something completely the other side.
Getting the most opposite, song that you could never imagine being drum and bass and making it drum and bass. Yeah, and it does come with a little bit of hate, but and also like some people just love it. And so I'm like stoked, yeah.
Yeah, I think maybe a Parkway Drive remix.
You know what? It'll probably work. Bring Me the Horizon, Parkway Drive. I don't know.
Well, especially
I've actually been well, someone's actually been asked. So I've actually been asked that. I've actually been asked a few times to do a Bring Me the Horizon song and a few times to do a Parkway Drive. So I get the most random requests. Like, so I'm all for it, eh? I've got who does one what's his name from the like 60s or whatever. What a Wonderful World. What's that song?
Louis Armstrong.
Yeah. I've been asked that. Like it's everything. And
see that because it's such a positive kind of uplifting lyric. If you put your twist on that, I mean, I don't know, but it could work.
Yeah, it's kind of like some of those songs. It's the catchy songs because I always want to have the vocal in the actual drop of the song. So it's like when it hits, people are singing it as well as dancing. So it's like songs like that, like could actually work. But yeah, we'll see what happens.
And what about new music? Are you somebody that keeps up with what's going on like around you?
Yeah, well, we've actually we're doing our last week this week, but we have I don't know if you've heard of Triple J. It's kind of like
I know
it's like Australia. Yeah, Australia's like mini BBC. Yeah, so we actually have a dance music show on there that we've been doing every Friday night for like the last year. So yeah, so basically, like we get sent a lot of it's all dance music though from a lot of pluggers. But yeah, so we're pretty up to date with like all the drum and bass, a lot of the house music and stuff. But that's pretty much as far as it goes. I find most of my music, honestly, from the YouTube algorithm. That's right. Oh, yeah, like I'll click on a song I love, and then I'll click on a similar song on that sidebar thing, and that's usually how I find most of my music.
So what in the last let's say in the last couple of years when we've had plenty of time to listen to music, what are the acts that have excited you the most that you've discovered?
I wouldn't say it's been a lot of new music, but I've been listening to a lot of Crystal Castles, M83.
Nice.
I would say M83 probably one of my favorite acts ever. The Blaze, a lot of those, like I love because I have like a bit of a nerd setup. So I've got like my main monitor, which is what I'm talking to you on with my camera, and then I've got my monitor on the side. So I don't listen to music on Spotify on my computer. I always listen on YouTube. So whatever I'm doing, I can have a video going on the side. So I'm like a bit of ADD. I'm just like back and forth. But I don't know if you want to look it up later, look up the Blaze Territory, and that is I love like emotional roller coaster like film clips. That film clip is that's one of those songs where you listen to the song by itself, you're like, oh yeah, it's a cool song, but you listen with the film clip and it'll blow your mind. But yeah. But I would say, yeah, mostly those, like anything that's emotional, really. Like Labrinth, obviously. Like I really got into Labrinth a lot in our COVID. It's mostly like even getting back into James Blunt. I love James Blunt. I'm not supposed to say that, but I love him. My nanny used to always just crank it in the car when she'd pick us up. So,
do you follow him on Twitter?
No, but I do always see his tweets. I do see them pop up on Facebook. He's
so funny.
He's hilarious. He's just the biggest piss taker. I love it. I don't know why people hate his music, because I literally love James Blunt. Like I could listen to that. What's that? The Back to Bedlam or whatever, that album. I guess it's because my nan used to play it, so it's like a nostalgia thing. I could listen to that. Album. I go to the gym and put on James Blunt. Like I love it. But,
I'm not sure that's the kind of music that pumps you up for the gym.
Yeah, I never listen to dance music at the gym. I always listen to try to listen to emotional sad music because it gets me like this weird headspace where I want to work out. I don't know.
Crying at the gym.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like people think I'm so weird, but I'm just like, no, I don't want to listen to like heavy music. I want to listen to some like emotional piano, like the song "Jealous" by Labrinth, or like one of James Blunt's "High" or something like. Yeah, very random, but yeah, amazing.
So what's the rest of the year looking like for you? You mentioned you're going to Europe.
Yeah, so got a festival this weekend, and then I've got about a month off, and in that month I'm just going to try and get as much music finished as possible. Like I'm going to try to get a lot of clubby stuff done because, I've been making more, I've been making a lot of more poppy stuff. So I want to, before I go on tour, I want to have a whole catalog of very, very heavy club stuff to play. So that's kind of the goal next month. Then after that, doing a full Australian tour, and then going to New Zealand, Europe for, I think that whole trip with New Zealand, Europe will be like 4 months. Wow. And then come back, and then got festivals here at the end of the year. So the year's looking very busy, but very exciting.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I'm really happy that it's going so well for you. And it's kind of taken a very sudden turn from what it was before Christmas, I guess. An
absolute sudden turn. Yeah. Like one of those, it has changed my life. It's fully changed my life, this song. And it's just like the power of the internet, eh? Like who would have thought? And I was just talking to my manager about it before. We're trying to get like a few shows in Canada, hopefully, because I didn't realize that Canada actually has a drum and bass scene.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I didn't know that was a thing. I was talking to one of my he's a fellow artist, Shock One, and he's doing it. He's from Perth, and he's like, yeah, man, I'm doing Europe, and then I'm going over to Canada. I'm like, I didn't realize like drum and bass actually toured over in Canada. I thought, a few people listened to it, but I didn't realize there were actually shows. So hopefully we can sort that out.
Excellent.
Well,
I look forward to that. I hope that happens for you. But yeah, congratulations. Like you say, the power of the internet, and I hope the rest of the year just gets crazier and crazy for you.
Mate, fingers crossed.
Yeah, but thanks for spending some time chatting with me. It's been really nice chatting to you.
Hey, I appreciate you for having me on, mate.
All right.
The internet, eh?
There you go. Here we are.
See you later, mate.